The fintech company PayPal has reported better than expected earnings in its Q2 release, and it increased its forecast for transaction margin dollars and earnings per share. We did see the stock slipping a little bit this morning. Let's bring in Sanjay Sakrani, Managing Director and Senior Equity Analyst at Keefe, Bruyette and Woods. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. What jumped out for you with this report from PayPal?
So I thought the results were really solid relative to expectations. As you mentioned, the transaction margin dollar growth and earnings exceeded our expectations. I think there were a couple of little nuances inside that number. There was a one-timer that sort of helped the transaction margin dollar growth beat expectations. Without it, it'd probably be in line. And then when you look at the guidance, even though it was raised, it does speak to a little bit of a decel as we move into the back part of this year, which I think has investors sort of questioning, sort of the state of the consumer and sort of what's factored in.
The weaker U.S. dollar, I know the U.S. dollar has rallied a bit over the past few sessions, but how does that factor into PayPal's results?
I mean, I think the weaker U.S. dollar generally is a tailwind. Europe obviously is one of the bigger markets there. That definitely helps in terms of translation. But also, as you think about people buying into our country, I mean, that helps sort of lift spending. But, people tend to look at things on a constant currency basis. And I think as you look at that, that's sort of the trends that I was mentioning. I think things were in line to slightly better for the quarter. But then as we look into the second half, people are wondering what type of macro do we expect and sort of what the tariff-related impacts could be. One of the points they also made on the call is they saw some pressure in retail spending from goods purchased from China. And so to the extent that those headwinds don't get worse, I think there's a good setup in terms of conservatism.
They're apparently a big player in this buy now, pay later movement. And of course, critics have said, well, this tends to load consumers up with debt. But has this proved to be a profitable avenue for PayPal?
It's definitely something that's quite incremental for them because they can leverage this product across, the hundreds and millions of customers that they have. They're gradually building that outside of the United States. But I do think it's a good product, that's something that could be very profitable and incremental for them to not only build revenues, but get more of a flywheel with their existing customers and better engagement.
What about the competition? Apple Pay, Stripe, Square. Is PayPal in a dogfight right now?
100%. They are in a dogfight. It is quite competitive, and there are more competitors coming, especially with the stablecoin initiatives that are out there. So I think that, one of the strengths of PayPal is their strong incumbency position. They launched this thing called PayPal World, which integrates a bunch of other wallets around the world together with them and gives them interoperability. So I think that's a step in the right direction to counteract some of the competition that they have that will come into them in the future. But I do think they're in a dogfight for sure. And, that is the big question investors have, whether or not they will remain relevant or become more relevant in a steady state in the future.
So they have a new pay with crypto feature, and they're working on integrating stable coins. So tell us, how is PayPal related to crypto? What's the connection here?
Well, definitely their customers can buy and sell crypto inside the wallet. And at some point in the future, to the extent that consumers want to use that to make payment to each other or to merchants, they can do that from their PayPal wallet, right? And so if you believe in a future where consumers are going to store value elsewhere for their crypto, PayPal would be a natural landing spot in terms of a wallet. And so, I think that's where the intersection of crypto is. And then it all comes down to what consumer adoption will be and what the simple use cases will be.
Would you be a buyer of PayPal stock with new money right now, Sanjay?
Yes, I think that the stock is weak on what I thought was a pretty good quarter. Obviously, they've kept the bar pretty low and built in some conservatism, so we definitely be buyers on the week.